just hate when you cannot find a song on your Cena. All right, let's get it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another vlog today. Today I'm going to be talking on a, I don't know if you'd call it touchy subject, per se. But we're going to be talking about moto therapy. And some of this I'm going to put out. Oh, actually, no, all of this is just going to be my personal point of view. Because I didn't look any facts up about this because I'm lazy. I'm sure you could find facts on it somewhere that proves motorcycles can be therapeutic, but I'm just kind of going off of what I personally have experienced. And so, for starters, let me just say, I think motorcycles can be incredibly therapeutic or help to relieve stress in many ways. There we go. I'll tell you why I personally turn to it and use it as a therapeutic relief or a stress reliever, whatever you want to call it, something that helps me cope with my stress and my personal anxiety. So let me start off by saying I didn't start riding to get I didn't start riding with the intentions to use it as a therapy or a stress reliever. I also don't always use it as that. I use it for fun and, you know, just because I love to ride. I just do. All of us do. And so that's not why I started riding, but I found it helps me a lot. And I'll tell you why I think it helps me. First off, and this is where I think it would help most people, in a therapeutic way, is when you're on a bike and you're riding through anything, either it be traffic, interstate, whatever, it takes a lot of mental energy. You are constantly scanning and thinking and focusing. It takes a lot of focus, and I think what it does is it takes your focus off those things you're stressed and worried about, and it puts it on just riding and not dying. But in a fun way. It's not like not dying in a bad way or a scary way. To some it could be, but to most riders who, you know, ride constantly, you're not scared, but you are focusing on not getting slammed by a car or, you know, slamming yourself into a car. So I think that's a big reason, is because it takes your mind off of stuff. And I think that's just the number one reason it can be pretty therapeutic or help you to relax, is because it's taking your mind off of all those things that are bogging you down and stressing you out. Now, a reason this is going to become more personal, especially on the day that it is. Oh, look at that city. That is pretty. Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, another reason for me personally is, so, quick backstory. When I was 6 months old, I was born with half a heart. And so, I needed to get a heart transplant. So when I was 6 months old, Sorry, that was just, sorry. First pull of the day, I guess. First good pull, at least. I don't know, I haven't been paying attention. Anyway, so when I was a baby, I had to get a heart transplant, and so most of my life growing up, I didn't really, it didn't bother me, even through surgeries, having some minor issues with it. When I was in middle school and high school, I was never really scared of it because it was just the norm to me, you know? It was just what I'm used to. You can come over. You can come over. Okay, don't come over. Your turn signal's on, lady. Anyway, anyway, so it was just the norm to me. So I wasn't really worried about it, but then I'd never really experienced a hard death in my life. And my cousin, actually, on this day today, March 5th, about 3 years ago, he had took his own life, and for some reason that sent me into some major anxiety about life and death, and fear of dying, and fear of my heart. For some reason, it just all connected, and I was terrified of it. So that really sent me into an anxiety of life or death, and me worrying about my heart and fearing for my life for some reason. It just hit me hard. It was my first major death. He was the closest thing to a brother I had ever had. I never had a brother, and me and him were just really close. And so when he did that, it hit me hard. So when all of this took place, I was about probably 3 months into motorcycle riding. This is when I lived in Costa Rica. I wasn't living in the US at the time. So I had my little 180 dual sport, and so I was riding on that 180, and the only time I wasn't scared or anxious, strangely, was when I was on the back of this motorcycle ripping through, traffic in Costa Rica, which I've done videos on traffic in Costa Rica. It's no joke. It's pretty crazy traffic down there. What the heck was that dude doing? And so it was pretty sketch stuff that I was doing on the public roads, as well as I would go to lots and I would just practice doing stupid stunts, standing on the bike, stuff like that, which I still do that. But when I was doing these things, I wasn't scared. It was the only time that I wasn't scared, and I think that's because when you're riding on a bike and you're riding on a motorcycle, death is everywhere. It just is. And I think I felt as if I was in control of that more. I'm in control of how fast this bike goes. I'm in control of how risky it is. I'm in control of, most things. Obviously, I'm not in control of when cars pull out in front of me, but I'm in control of how I react when a car pulls out in front of me, and how dangerous of a situation I'm in. And I think, for me personally, the thought of being in control of life and death at that moment was very powerful to me, whereas when I'm just sitting around and I'm scared of my heart and I'm scared of something going wrong with it, I'm not in control of that moment. I can't control my heart. I can't control my health. I can do things to prevent it, but I can't control it. And so I think that idea of being in control of life or death when I'm on a bike, for me personally, was very powerful, and it taught me that death is all around, but you don't have to be scared of it. And I mean, like I said, this is all going off personal bias. And I'm not saying if you have fears of death or anything like that, go out, buy a motorcycle and do stupid stuff. That's not at all what I'm saying. So please do not take that message from this video. What I am trying to say is motorcycles can be therapeutic to people. They can help in aspects like that. They can relieve stress. And so when people say I need to go for a ride in a therapeutic way, don't knock it. And honestly, I'm not saying to do the stupid things I did, but I may be saying that if you have high anxiety or worries or stuff like that, maybe look into a motorcycle. The freedom that comes with being on a motorcycle is like no other freedom I have ever experienced besides religiously. It is such a strong freedom, especially when you're on something like a sports bike. I mean, cruisers have a different type of freedom of cruising and just going with the flow, but when you're on a sports bike, which I'll do videos on the differences of these, but nothing can stop you. This is another subject I might do a video on if you guys like. Cops can't stop you. know, you are in control of how fast that motorcycle goes. Given, I guess a wall can stop you, but you get what I'm saying. Metaphorically, you have so much power. These bikes have so much power, I guess, and you're in control of that power. Don't close that gap, lady. She don't like me. She saw me. She was looking back at me dirty earlier. Alright, anyways guys, I know that this has been a little bit more of a, it hasn't been the happiest video. It's been a little, not sad per se, but more emotional. But it's just something that I kind of wanted to put out there, and something that's been on my mind and that I wanted to put on the channel. If this is your first time watching a video of mine, go ahead and check some others out. Not all of them are all sad and depressive like this, I promise. We do some really cool builds. I want to start doing some other moto vlogs and fun stuff like that. But go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you guys agree or have anything to say on this subject, please feel free to drop a comment in the comment section. I think it'd be really cool to start up a talk about this and see what other people's experiences are with, you know, if it's helped them or if it hasn't helped them, if being on a motorcycle scares the crap out of them. I don't know. I'd like to hear all your guys' opinions, so let's start a chat down below, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.